Being poor is rough, very rough, mate. So it's not much of a surprise that the over 3 billion impoverished people worldwide care less on saving the Borneo pygmy elephant and more on saving themselves from death. While I do love me some smog, skyscrapers, and those mini cop cars rolling around New York City, more flashing advertisements and $300 staircases probably aren't the eco-friendliest. And we can never get away from the sprawl. Or maybe we can, but Arcade Fire says otherwise. When they stop selling Scooby-Doo shaped mac and cheese noodles, so you have to stockpile and hoard the boxes to savor them while they last. Ding dong, it's the future. We just wanted to tell you we have hyper-intelligent supercomputers 1,000th the size of a flea finger, and we're gonna implant them in your head. Thank you. Introducing the Jesus Wire. 200 times stronger than steel, is 1 atom thick and essentially Mr. Game & Watch, conductive of both heat and electricity, and overall the most revolutionary thing since the revolving door. It can be used for strong and buff touchscreens, fast recharging lithium-ion batteries, not corroding paints, chemical sensors, pressure sensors, solar cells, fuel cells, etc. Ingots that are very vital to many vital human inventions like missile guidance systems, loudspeakers, and computers. But Earth doesn't give a frick about that because China already had them all and you don't. Hey, can you bum me like 20,000 pounds of neodymium for my technologically enhanced dental floss?
Buzz off, Buster!
Food fight! When you don't have enough thirst quencher to wash your Harrys, power your industrial mills, and haphazardly spray upon the dinky 100-acre plains of deforestation called golf courses to make sure the grass is nice and attractive, because apparently these courses only exist for affluent white dudes to aim balls into tiny holes and look at the frickin' grass! Drip, 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 drip! The fresh water that the government doesn't want you to know about. I think. The mole people have straws. Enjoy your $2 water, kids. If our 1 water depletion becomes a calamity, it'll cost as much as it does at Cedar Point. The walls of the water, the bridges of the beavers, and the go-to swear word of Southern Christians. A huge, wet and wild blow that gets stirred everywhere. Why is this important? 'Cause our food comes from topsoil! Remember, if more water is escaping underground than actually hitting the plants, your sprinkler system is freaking defective. How to grow salted corn.
Call a plumber, Bessie! The toilet's levitating again!
When you see a bug and you're in doubt, just spray some toxic chemicals to knock it out. Oh sure, there's no doubt that it can poison and pollute, but on the plus side you just saved your exotic fruit. Seriously though, it can cause frickin' cancer, stop. Here's just a quick contrast betwixt the 2 main breeds of planting crops in the ground and nurturing them all season, only to tear them to pieces with your teeth. Look at it if you want, I don't give a frick. There's a reason why you don't want to know where hot dogs come from. In case you didn't know, it involves overcrowding, standing knee-deep in manure, unnatural growth to fatten the animals up faster, and this. Watch Food Inc. I can't stress this enough! Me whenever I go to a Japanese restaurant, when the bacteria begin fighting the antibiotics instead. Despite the Green Revolution making huge food surpluses that could easily satisfy every human being's stomach grumbles and nutritional needs for decades, there are still people who consume royal buffets every dinner and starving children in Africa. Thanks, inequality! Scarfing down hordes of food into your gob until your body fat sags from your sides and you legally classify as a donut. Hey, remember when we actually had competition in the food market? Gosh darn it, somebody get a Roosevelt in office! We need a freaking trust buster because these food monopolies make me want to stuff 10 cans of hamburger helper on my urethra! Hey, do you like the liberty of actually knowing what you're eating? Psh, who needs that? Might as well just eat glue for all these frickin' organizations care. Flushing various plant seeds and baby sheep down the toilet of non-existence. You know, this is how freak accidents like this happen. It's the end of the world as we know it. All your favorite species potentially getting endangered and going bye-bye, including the Indian elephant, the blue whale, the black-footed ferret, the Indus River dolphin, excuse me, the poison dart frog, the honest politician, the tuna, the Arctic fox, sorry, the hippopotamus, the red panda. What the frick? Somebody freaking get this thing off the endangered list, or I'll take whoever killed these creatures and wrap their necks around. It's them dang real estate contractors.
Grr, is that you?
This applies to any other critter in a managerial position, like alligators or bees, but wolves provide an epic impact on ecosystems that may be further elaborated on by the eyesore of a hyperlink that has mysteriously appeared like the intersection you saw too late, for if you click on it, it leads to treasure! The hologenic extinction. Mass extinction primarily caused by human activities. Why the frick is nobody talking about this? Take your local tropical jungle or coral reef and appoint your national militia as a certified bodyguard. Hunting deer one day after deer season's ended, or bagging tigers because your parents don't love you. That's right, kids. Your species has found a way to scramble up even the most basic and essential of life's ecosystem services. What screw-ups we truly are. I think by this point you get the gist. We're throwing multiple monkey wrenches into the carbon cycle with our merciless carbon dioxide emissions, well, with our cars and factories and crap. Frickin' next one. That's right, humans are even depleting the N-word. It doesn't have to be fast or atmospheric to have humanity rapidly convulse upon its quivering corpse. High five for respiratory diseases! Asthma, yeah! Woo! When you get so tired of watching grass grow that you begin furiously ripping its biome apart until there's nothing left but a pile of grass blades, a cow, and a heavily breathing beet. Oh no! Not the scorching barren sand lands filled with sharp objects and rattling noodles. You fools! You're gonna cancel Chill Out Scooby-Doo 2 with this bewitchery! Ah, forests. The 10-time champion of both the Most Important Ecosystem Award and the Most Fricked With by Humanity ribbon. Hey, just speaking for the trees here, they don't much like sharp blunt objects being struck repeatedly into their shells until their inner core is pierced and they fall down like a North Korean rocket.
Hey Brazil, can you quit being a meatball?
Welp, you know what they say. If you mess with the park, die. Moo cows getting chonky off of lawn. I guess you call it quicksand! So, coal miners, try justifying exploding entire frickin' mountaintops, decimating living ecosystems, burying freshwater streams, and blowing mountaintops to smithereens, all for a little bit of extra coal. I know you people like your golden rings and your golden canisters of engine degreaser, but can you stop using poisonous mercury and generating toxic waste while mining for it? Screw Finding Nemo, how about finding a cure for the annihilation of underwater ecosystems? They just can't get that secret formula. Oh, and also, phytoplankton account for betwixt like 50 to 85% of Earth's oxygen, and since 1950, their levels have kinda gone down by frickin' like 40%. So, not a good combination, could generally mean less oxygen in the upcoming decades, which, like, contributes to extinction and less breathing. So, frickin' thanks, boomers. When a mammoth-sized ship devastates the seafloor with a big scrapey thingamajig meant for harvesting fish. When politicians say they're gonna drain the swamp, I don't think they're referring to ending corruption. When deltas sink, flood happen. Delta sink, 'cause dam built. Dam built to prevent flood, but here, dam cause flood. Ooga booga exclamation point. Yep, I unironically hate the human race. Essentially the carrying capacity for the components to your dental nose drill rather than an actual organism. What you're doing right now, seated on a computer watching some loser rant about environmental destruction, when you could be out whacking trees with big sticks and asphyxiating ducks with breadcrumbs. Simple, right? If you're interested, do something! Hey, here's how to be an environmentalist, or whatever. Okay. We've had a revolution celebrating the ability to stay in one place. One celebrating the lack of workers' rights. One celebrating the invention of digital cameras and Pong. How about one that saves the climate, the water, the red pandas, and the environment? If you can stomach any more of my hippy-dippy cheese puff, let's save the environment, can-do tree hugger attitude, then please, don't jump off a bridge. Instead, check out part 2. It's got a list!